Picture this. A mountain lion is crouched in the brush, 80 feet from a sleeping camper. It has been there for almost 20 minutes. It can smell the person. It can hear every breath. It has had more than enough time to make a move. It doesn't. It gets up and it leaves. This happens more than you'd think, and almost nobody talks about it. Tonight, somewhere on this planet, a predator is going to walk away from an easy meal for a reason that has nothing to do with being full and everything to do with something ancient running through its instincts. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never look at a tent the same way again. Here's the math nobody thinks about. You're around 180 pounds of warm meat. You're unconscious for hours at a time. You can't run. You can't fight. You're basically the easiest target in the entire forest. And yet, night after night, in bear country, wolf country, mountain lion territory, people sleep completely undisturbed. So what's actually going on out there while you're asleep? Let's start with scent, because this is where it gets weird fast. Human sweat is chemically bizarre compared to other mammals. It's loaded with residue from soap, deodorant, food, laundry detergent, sunscreen, none of which exist in nature. To a wolf's nose, a sleeping human doesn't smell like prey. It smells like nothing the wolf's brain has a category for. And animals are deeply suspicious of things they can't categorize. There's actually a name for this in animal behavior science: neophobia, the fear of the unfamiliar. It's one of the most powerful survival instincts in the wild because historically, the unfamiliar thing in the dark was usually the thing that killed you. So a wolf picks up your scent, runs it through millions of years of pattern recognition, and gets nothing, no match. And when an animal gets no match, the safest move is always to back away. But scent is only the first red flag. Because even if a predator got close enough to actually look at you, what it would see is almost more confusing than what it smells. Every animal a predator has ever hunted follows a pattern when it senses danger. A deer freezes, a rabbit bolts, birds scatter. Predators have spent millions of years reading these reactions, because reading them correctly is the difference between eating and starving. You do none of that. You lie completely still for hours. Your breathing is slow and steady. You don't flee. You don't tense up. You don't react to footsteps or rustling leaves the way every other animal in the forest would. To a predator, that's not calm prey. That's an animal that isn't behaving like prey at all. And an animal that breaks every rule a predator has ever learned isn't an opportunity. It's a question mark. And predators don't bet their lives on question marks. Now, here's where this gets even stranger, because it's not just about what you smell like or how you move. It's about something your ancestors did, long before you were even born. Here's a fact most people don't know. Humans have been hunting large predators for hundreds of thousands of years. Long before we had riding, long before we had agriculture, we hunted wolves. We hunted big cats. We hunted bears. And we drove several apex predators completely extinct, including the dire wolf and the cave lion. The predators alive today aren't the descendants of the bold ones. They're the descendants of the cautious ones. The animals that learned, generation after generation, to give humans a wide berth survived. The ones that didn't. And researchers have actually confirmed this. In regions where predators have had centuries of contact with people, they avoid humans almost on sight. In remote regions with little or no human contact, predators are noticeably bolder and more curious. That fear isn't something each individual animal figures out. It's baked in, passed down. A sleeping human might just be a sleeping human, but to a predator's instincts, it might also be holding a weapon. And that risk alone is enough to make most animals walk away. So if predators are this cautious about us, what actually causes the attacks that do happen? Because they happen. And the reasons might surprise you. There are really only 3 situations where a predator's normal caution collapses. The first is time's conditioning. A bear that's repeatedly found food at campsites stops viewing humans as a threat and starts viewing them as a source. That's not the bear getting braver. That's the entire equation flipping. The second is time's desperation. An injured or sick predator that physically can't hunt its normal prey anymore might take a risk it never would otherwise. The infamous Savo lions, The pair that killed dozens of railway workers in Kenya in 1898 were later found to have severe dental damage that made normal hunting nearly impossible. The third is time surprise. An animal that's been cornered, startled, or stumbled upon while guarding cubs isn't hunting, it's defending itself. Notice what's missing. A healthy predator calmly choosing to attack a sleeping, harmless human just because it could? That's not on the list. It almost never happens. And there's one more thing. Something wildlife researchers have actually filmed, and it might be the strangest part of all. Wolves are highly social animals. When they come across something unfamiliar, they don't just react, they try to read it. Is it dominant? Is it weak? Where does it fit? And here's the strange part. Researchers have documented wolves approaching sleeping campers, circling at a distance, and then simply leaving without ever getting closer. A sleeping human gives off nothing a wolf can use. No posture, no body language, no reaction at all. It's not submissive, but it's not threatening either. It's just unreadable. And to a wolf, unreadable isn't an invitation. It's a reason to leave. Here's the number that puts all of this in perspective. The National Park Service tracks every significant wildlife encounter across U.S. national parks. Millions of people sleep in bear and mountain lion territory every single year. The number of fatal predator attacks on sleeping campers in all of recorded park history is effectively zero. You are more likely to get struck by lightning inside that park than eaten in your sleep. So next time you're lying in a tent and you hear something move outside, here's the truth. It already smelled you. It already heard you. It's been aware of you this whole time. And it's choosing to walk away. Not because it can't reach you, but because of an instinct passed down through thousands of generations that says one simple thing. You're not what I think I'm looking for. Sleep well. And let me know, after hearing all this, would you actually sleep easier out there or worse? And honestly, once you know all this, camping starts to feel different. Not scarier, almost the opposite. Because every single thing working against you on paper, your smell, your stillness, your strange, unreadable presence, is actually the reason you're safe. The forest isn't holding its breath waiting for you to fall asleep. It already decided what you are a long time ago, and it decided you're not worth the risk. That's wild when you really sit with it. Millions of years of evolution on every continent, all quietly agreeing on one thing: leave the sleeping human alone. If you learned something from this, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of thing this channel digs into every week. The hidden rules running underneath the natural world that nobody ever explains to you. And before you go, I want to know, after everything in this video, does this make you feel safer out there? Or does some part of you still not buy it? Tell me honestly in the comments. I'll be reading through them. See you in the next one.